And welcome back, everybody. Captured and in critical condition, fugitive David Sweat is now in a New York hospital under heavy guard more than 3 weeks after escaping and eventually being captured.
Yeah, now police have to piece together how Sweat and another fugitive managed to get out and avoid capture. Jan Perminez is in New York with all the details.
The nightmare is finally over.
David Sweat is back where he started, in custody. The intense manhunt for Sweat ended Sunday when a New York State police sergeant spotted him and fired 2 shots after authorities say the suspect ran.
My wife ran out of the house and said, "Oh my God, something's going on up the street." And then I heard the shots and I ran out with my phone and started taking pictures, and all of a sudden the cops just swarmed like bees.
Search crews caught up to fellow fugitive Richard Matt on Friday. He was shot 3 times in the head and died. Guards at the Clinton Correctional Facility noticed Sweat and Matt were missing on June 6th. Sweat was shot just under 5 miles from the Canadian border. For those living near the search area and even Sweat's mother, his capture is a relief.
It felt like a big lift was off my shoulders that he was captured and he is alive.
He got finally caught. People can let their kids out, let them play without supervision, and just start enjoying life again.
Investigators have not yet interviewed Sweat, but hope to soon. They say it's imperative that Sweat survive so they can find out how they escaped and managed to elude authorities for so long.
And we wish it didn't happen in the first place. But if you have to have it happen, this is the way you want it to end.
And that was Jan Perminez reporting for us this morning.
Well, from New York to California, this weekend was the time for gay pride demonstrations across the country. They applauded the Supreme Court's ruling on Friday legalizing same-sex marriage in all 50 states, but not necessarily. Texas Attorney General says county clerks can refuse to issue licenses based on religious objections. Louisiana and Ohio will comply reluctantly.
We've got no choice to comply, even though I think this decision was the wrong one.
In fact, Texas's top prosecutor says he's got an army of lawyers waiting to defend officials who refuse to issue marriage licenses based on their own religious objections. This morning, it is a decision that is leaving the nation still divided.
And new this morning, a 20-year-old woman died from injuries she suffered in an explosion that hit a water park in Taiwan over the weekend. The hospital is reporting that the young woman suffered burns over 90% of her body. This is the first death reported since the incident. Officials say Saturday's explosion happened when a flammable powder ignited over a crowd, injuring more than 500 people. 5 people have been questioned in connection with the blast. Police say 2 people, a party organizer and lighting technician, are considered suspects.
An unmanned rocket exploded about 2 minutes after lifting off from the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida. The aircraft was ascending normally before it suddenly broke apart. Pieces of debris were seen falling into the Atlantic Ocean. The Falcon 9 rocket was carrying the Dragon spacecraft, loaded with supplies for the International Space Station.
And now there was one more. Ohio's Republican Governor John Kasich is expected to announce his presidential candidacy on July 21st. The formal announcement will happen at Kasich's alma mater, Ohio State University. Governor is expected to run largely on his economic credentials. He built a record of fiscal conservatism while serving as a U.S. congressman from 1983 to 2001. As governor, he expanded Medicaid in Ohio and used state funds made available through Obamacare while at the same time publicly opposing the law.